It's May 7th, 2026, and my name is Nancy Groce. I'm a folklorist at the American Folklife Center here at the Library of Congress. I'm here with my colleague Stephen Winick, and we're going to do a quick interview with Liam O'Connor following his wonderful Botkin Lecture on the Irish Traditional Music Archive in Dublin, which he directs. And we're going to find out a bit more about him and how he got into traditional music.
So welcome, Liam.
Thanks so much to both of you. Yeah, I'm delighted to be here. But it's a huge honour for me, to be honest, personally. Yeah.
Well, it's an honor for us to have you, for sure. So could you start just by telling us how you began your involvement with music?
Yeah, so I was born in 1983 into a family that were steeped in traditional music. My father's absolutely obsessed with traditional music, yeah, and he's a flute player, collector. I'm the youngest of four siblings, so they all played before me. So I always wanted to play anyway, so I didn't. It was never needed any convincing. Started a little bit on the tin whistle. I was about 4 or something, and then onto the fiddle shortly after that.
And what attracted you to the fiddle?
A lot of my father's friends and visitors to the house were either fiddlers or pipers. They're probably the two more prominent ones in Dublin. But a man called Liam Rossum, he's his father, Leo Rossum, be better known, the pipe maker and yeah, wonderful piper. Liam was a regular visitor to the house, and my older siblings were being taught by Terry Crean. He used to come on I think on a Sunday morning, so the three of them had lessons. But Terry thought I was too young to start, and so when that door wasn't open to me, I asked Liam, would you show me how to play the fiddle? And he showed me a couple of notes, and I went back to Terry and said, I know how to play the fiddle. You know, as a 5-year-old a week later, thinking I had a sort of, I've yet to figure out how to play it properly. Yeah, but yeah, just I went to classes then with a man called Seamus Glacken, who was. Again, from a renowned family of traditional musicians, friend of my father's. He was a great mentor to me for well over 10 years, and so that was wonderful. And then I played socially as well, in groups and with young people, and the likes of Scotsara, Willie Clancy, the Willie Clancy Summer School. They were hugely formative. You know, that was our school would finish on the 30th of June, and then the first week of July is we're down in West Clare in Clare. My mother is from Ennistimon in Clare, yeah. So we'd spend all of our school holidays in Clare. So I probably didn't have a summer in Dublin until I was close to my 20s, you know. And there was music every night of the week there, like Bobby Casey, Joe Ryan, a lot of those older Clare fiddle players I had access to there as well. So. Yeah, so I was attracted to the fiddle. I loved the sound of it. I loved the instrument itself, and the challenge of it too. You know, it's still hard, and I studied some classical music as well, which brings its certain benefits and then certain challenges as well. But I love the instrument itself. I don't regret the choice. My dad was always. He would have loved an uilleann piper. He has a few grandkids now that are uilleann pipers, but you know, we didn't buy it. Or I could play a little bit on the flute, but it's not something I'd do publicly. Yeah. And a bit on the concertina, but again, the concertina, I went to lessons with Noel Hill as well for years, and he says my hands grew too big for the concertinas that I was playing, but that helped. That shaped as well, I think, between Seamus and Noel, and then I was lucky with the people I started to play with. Started to play with Noel, like fiddle and concertina, you know, when I was probably 15 or 16, and Liam O'Flynn was 17, 18. So when I'd kind of finished with formal classes, I had good senior mentors that I was playing with and preparing for kind of formal gigs. They were influential on me too.
That's great, yeah. So do you feel like, you know, you mentioned that your mother is from Clare and your father from Dublin, so you have two different backgrounds in Ireland. And do you feel like your generation still has regional playing styles, or is that ironed out a little bit?
Yeah, I think it has ironed out or evolved a little. I think the people can hear more widely, obviously. So the natural boundaries that were there when someone like Paddy Cronin, when he's grown up in Slieve Luachra, you know, he's a Portugal people. That's the dominant style of the area, whether it was an individual convinced everyone else to follow or what, or the cumulative effect of that with 2 or 3 leading players. While someone like Paddy Cronin, when he moves to the States, he hears all types of music and changes. So I think for my generation, I don't think it's as strong. Maybe some places like Donegal will have quite an active concerted effort to do that. But I never felt that, Seamus Lacken, who was teaching me, was, a strong Donegal influence, father from Donegal. Then, but Sean Keane was a huge influence on him, and he was kind of a lot of Clare influences, but kind of like a magpie stealing from everyone, you know. I think it's ironed out. I feel, like when I look at my age group in Clare or somewhere like that, those fiddle players, Joe Ryan, Bobby Casey, Junior Crean, they're quite diverse Clare styles, like, as well. And so things have changed. And someone like Tommy Peoples moved into the area, and he's bringing a different repertoire. Donegal playing, so his influence on Tony Lennon and others in Clare now, it's James Cullinan when he was alive. They were Clare born, but Tommy had influenced them as well. So things change. I think it's it's not static yet. Anyway.
Well, one of the things that sort of interests me is the whole competition system, the All Irelands, the flaws. How much of an impact do you think that's had on tradition?
I think it depends on the individuals. Like, personally, I used to enter the competitions, and I think I stopped when I was 14. I was playing football as well at a match on the same day. I had a few All Irelands and my dad was quite disappointed he wasn't into football, the game of football. And he was waiting in the car hoping, and it was one of these all-day blitz, and we kept winning. And he was hoping to drive me to. He said, "You could still make it," you know. And I was like, "No, I'm done with the match." So I lost personally. I lost the value in them. You know, I mean, my interest is in. It's a kind of lifelong interest in the art form and as a means of expression and a means of sharing. Don't really need someone to put a medal, coloured, cheap plastic, or whatever they
right.
And that's not to be reductive. I know it works for some people, but I like, if I listen to someone play, I like to get a sense of their personality and what they stand for and where they're, you know, what you know, as a sense of art. And like, it's as useful in some ways, personally, speaking, that it's like ranking personalities or something. You know, it doesn't. If we're trying to express ourselves, then the competition is to better express yourself. You know?
Yeah, it does homogenize things a bit.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I don't get excited. I don't go to the competitions to listen, or it doesn't excite me personally. Yeah.
Well, one thing that's taken off kind of lately in Ireland and other countries too is traditional music in higher education, like actual degree programs in traditional music. Have you been involved in those at all, and what are they like in Ireland? Yeah,
I've been involved in just in terms of guest teaching or guest performing, so I think it's hugely positive. Like, one of the things I didn't really articulate in the lectures, that idea of democratizing access to the tradition, you know, that if we can make resources better available, including third level, like, you know, that you don't have to be born into one of these families. Say someone, we discussed it in ITMA, the staff, like someone like Sean Potts, it's about 6 generations before him, you know. So the job is to level the playing field, I think. And I think that the colleges, students have such a great time. And even like, people who are brilliant traditional musicians already, to step out of normal life and take time out to study, it seems to be very positive from what I can see.
So describe your work at ITMA, at the Irish Traditional Music Archive.
Oh, well, it's a huge privilege. It's literally a dream job. I know with all jobs there's aspects, you know, when I'm preparing governance documents or going to a board meeting, or there's a gap in funding, and there's stressful elements, and there's a different challenge too when when you're hugely passionate about your job, how do you switch off? You know, before, do you go for a few tunes and go for a session? You know, that was my go-to. And then if I go somewhere, then it's just a heightened version of being in the office, you know. So it's...
Yeah. Is ITMA a direct... I'm a little unsure what the relationship of ITMA to the Irish government or to the Arts Council is.
Yeah, me too at times. So it's kind of... the Arts Council are our main funders. So we're downstream of the Arts Council. Mm-hmm. And then to meet our ambitions, we need other funding streams. So that's why we work, say, with the Department of Foreign Affairs or Culture Ireland or Heritage Council, so many other bodies. I think we generally have 15, 16, 17 funders a year now, and including actually some US philanthropy has been very beneficial to us as well. You know, so we're guaranteed. Well, we like to think we're guaranteed. We're not a statutory body, though. That would be a different model, and it'd be so we've kind of a blended one at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you're here on an official tour. As part of America 250.
Yeah, exactly. So the Irish Foreign Ministry, or the Department of Foreign Affairs, they were interested in celebrating US 250, and they would part fund our activities here with the other Department of Culture here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they've been great to us, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, could you expand a little on that relationship between Irish America and ITMA? I mean, I know you have, for example, A View from the Bridge on your website and other American materials. Yeah.
Well, it's just like it'd be impossible to not to document. You know, like story of Irish music is so weighted in the States. Like you couldn't take Michael Coleman, James Morris, Paddy Galore, and you know, and that's just they're just so central. And then you've living traditions here as well. You know, like in New York and so many other places. So it's just really important if we're trying to be some form of one-stop shop for people interested in Irish traditional music, song or dance. We wouldn't be doing our jobs right if we weren't documenting and sharing what we have as well. A lot of collections come our way as well, even based on from the Bridge project. Then there was other collections, but so to do those materials justice as well and honor the work we're meant to do. Like it's hugely important. Obviously, Britain would be another big centre, but there's no parts of Canada as well. But the US and Britain are the two big places where the tradition went and lived. You know.
Well, it's just great to have you here. You did such a good overview, and we look forward to working with you, and just as an artist also. Because I know you're a wonderful fiddler. I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to hear you play. I know you were planning to play if we perhaps got to. We started a little earlier, but having just said that, are you still active as a musician yourself?
I get to play, but it's my schedule and calendar is pretty. I always prioritise the ITMA work, and then if I can fit things in around that are beneficial to ITMA, great. And then I wouldn't be right unless it was, 3 or 4 nice concerts a year is plenty. You know, I had to go back actually on when I took the ITMA job, and I used to like teaching the fiddle, like just one-on-one with working with students, and I really enjoyed that. It was good for me as well. Getting the case out of or the fiddle out of the case was often the hardest thing to do. But if students were coming, you'd have to do that, and it was a way of actively learning and improving myself. So that's one thing I miss, But no, this been a real privilege for me, and getting to play Fitzchrysler's Glenary was I'll remember that to the day I die. And
you came in a little early, and our curator for musical instruments was nice enough to come over and bring out some of our fancier violins here at the library.
Yeah, that was a real treat. Really appreciate it, and your own work here as well. It's so eager to learn and to learn from what you're doing, and the presentation on your Irish collections is brilliant as well. Yeah, so.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we love working with our archival collections, and I guess one last question might be: you mentioned Tommy Potts as one collection that you connected with deeply because he was a friend of your family, but you never got to meet him. Are there other collections that you really love working with or want to work with within your archive?
Yeah, so actually that's interesting, because due to my role as CEO, like, I kind of went in at the top. So like, I'm aware of stuff coming in all the time, and I'm so excited. But then the discipline has to just stay in the room, Liam. Keep doing your Excel documents and your and managing the team and that. So like the project on Tommy Potts, like I had ambitions to write that book myself before I got the history job, and then his personal papers were promised to me by the family, and then but I never got to work on those. Now that's part of and Sean Boss did a way better job than me. I write that in the introduction. But there's other projects like that. Sean Keane, the wonderful fiddle player and the chieftain, like, he was a family friend, a great mentor to me, and we started that project with him 2 years before he passed away, and it was really rewarding. And he got to see that film himself, or version with his grandchildren. His wife had passed away during the process as well, so it was nice to know. But I wasn't across the details of it, and I wasn't doing the collecting, So it's there are collections that I'm very excited about, but I'm probably in the same queue as the public to when I get to hear it, So my colleagues like Irla McGowan and whoever digitized will get the first. We had a collection there, came in reel-to-reels recorded Milltown Malbay, came in a plastic bag, Milltown Malbay, 1965, and there's like Luke Kelly and Willie Clancy, Seamus Ennis. So Willie Clancy and Seamus Ennis together. I mean, it's I'd love to. Be sitting down cataloguing those, but I'll wait in the queue like everyone else. Yeah.
When it goes online, you'll be
exactly. Well, in a way, you try and mind. It doesn't exist until the user has access. So that's where I'm at. So lots of collections I'd love to work on, but it's not going to happen until I retire.
Until you retire.
If it's digitally accessible, that's the day I'll go out the door and start enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, if you ever get a break, we would love to have you come to our archive and hear some of the recordings that we have. And we could compare notes at some point.
Yeah. Well, that would be another treat. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming for a terrific Botkin lecture, and for sitting with us now and just telling us a little bit more about your career and your interests.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much. Thanks, Nancy. Thanks, Stephen.
Thanks to you.
Okay, thanks,
Great to see
Leah.
you.